Good morning. This is my report on Luckin Coffee. Ethical scandals are common in a business environment, and being able to stay on top of this is essential if management of the organization wants to keep a healthy business and sustainable, especially with the mindset of being ethical in the process. For this assignment, we'll be discussing an ethical scandal that could have been avoided by an up-and-coming coffee shop. This organization is Luckin Coffee, founded out of China and by Jenny Qian Zhaya, which is spelled Qianzhiya, and they were established since October of 2017. This organization thought of a good plan out of the gate by only selling coffee on an application in a small to-go type of environment. Everything was working great, and profits were skyrocketing and at an epic growth rate. Then greed played a part, which will be discussed in the next part. Here is an example of their growth rate that we'll be discussing. So they were doing good, and then you've seen the plummet after the scandal happened. And like I said, we'll go into detail about that. This scandal that Luckin Coffee Shop took place violated a number of policies that are set in the United States. Being a Chinese-run business, these violations are not normally talked about, which are actually not necessarily a scandal over there. But when they went to the New York Stock Exchange, they became a scandal. When it made its debut in the market back in May of 2019, the stock had begun to rise 50% to $17 a share. And then according to another source, the day that it emerged on the New York Stock Exchange, it rose 18%, and that was from Neil of 2020. This continued to raise heads, and personnel started checking into this because of the alarming numbers that it caused. The highest stock rate was $50, as I showed you here. And then everyone was excited. And here's a little picture of them hitting the New York Stock Exchange. And then once it hit $50, then this all came tumbling down. In January of 2020, when an 89-page report came out that they were falsifying sales, falsifying documents, basically making their numbers look better than what they really were. So this all came out in January of 2020. And then according to another source, then after it leaked, then the stocks plummeted to $1.50. This is not only puts a damage on the business, but it actually puts a damage on the whole China nation, because then they assume everyone is unethical. Obviously, that's not the case, but just wanted to bring that up to emphasize that point. According to another source, some ways to get away from being a scandal is to use this type of method, which are individualism, utilitarianism, canonism, and virtue theory. And these are all just a few that you could do without being unethical. And it all starts from the culture. Now, the next part, the business plan out of the gate was an aggressive one that could have caused pressure on the CEO to execute. According to one article, the research that was developed noticed that the Chinese like to enjoy coffee and like a big atmosphere. This organization decided to do the complete opposite. So they did the small and then like a little grab and go thing. And then they're by having an aggressive plan at the start ended up hurting Luckin and caused them to fake the sales of the product from the company and even hide millions of dollars in the books to show the investors how how good they were doing, but not really. So they basically were lying about their profit margin. And in conclusion, looking at ways to help Luckin Coffee would be a better management system, but by starting out setting up achievable goals that will not be too aggressive, and then so they can ease into each category, and then by the end of it, then they will be able to succeed. And then if they would have done a better business research like Starbucks did in the beginning, this is a good example. Starbucks went to tea because of China, because they realized that coffee wasn't selling like it usually is everywhere else. So if they would have done a better market research and then did things ethical from the beginning, this company would have succeeded. That is my presentation. Thank you. Have a good day.